because he had a beauty parlor behind the barber shop, and so he would repeat the same thing every day instead of putting it down once and then multiplying by a number of weeks or months. I remember those long ledges,
Wow.
And I asked her once. I said, "Why does he always do the same?" And I found out he.
And you
couldn't
might find
multiply.
this interesting that they had the barber shop on Sutherland Road near where your daughter lived
In Brighton, yeah.
in Brighton, and they lived on Quarry Road
Yep.
on the top floor.
Top floor.
And I remember I used to visit, and I used to walk down and watch all the sheep and the lambs. I think there's a Stop and Shop there now.
I'll tell you an interesting story about that place.
It was a nursing
once
home.
Sunday, every month, the governor of Massachusetts used to come to that apartment. And my grandfather...
Tobin?
I think it was Tobin. We would give him a private haircut on Sunday morning.
Wow.
And he'd sit in the middle of the living room, about this size, oriental rug, sit in a chair, they'd wrap him around some kind of his barber cloth he'd bring home, and he'd cut his hair on the beautiful oriental rug. But it was that was the first Sunday of every month. That's how well known he was known.
You know that after Nana died and he moved into a small apartment on Commonwealth Avenue in Brighton, I was going to BU and I would visit him, and I would go there and I would let him give me a haircut because it gave him something to do. Otherwise he would just sit there and look at the traffic on the road. But I visited him quite often there, when he always gave me my haircuts.
Was this the old age home?
No, he wasn't in any old age.
Yeah, well, when he was sick. I remember taking Mark when he was a baby as the first grandchild to some home. I thought it was a nursing home, and he was in bed there, and I showed the grandfather the first baby.
I don't know about that. I know Nana was in a nursing home when she died, and he outlived her. But when he got sick, I only remember him in the hospital.
See, this is where we need Manny.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
I visited him the day before he died. He had to have he had something wrong with his colon or something. He had cancer. I don't know what he had, but he was 80. How old was he when he died? Was he 87 or something?
86.
Yeah, he was up there. So Manny and our mother got together and they decided that he should have the operation. But in essence, he only survived the operation 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
And I happened to visit him, and when I came into the hospital, he was sitting on a chair, and he saw me, and he broke out into a smile. I always remember that. In Bedfordshire Hospital.
Can you put a date on that?
Well, I was at Boston University, so that was 62. I was there from 62 to
59.
It couldn't have been 59,
No, it was a couple years after
It
that.
should also be pointed out that Adele was single and didn't marry till she was into her 30s. And so she spent a lot of her spare time as the aunt of us. She took us to see.
She bought me my first ice skates.
And she bought Michael a beautiful fish tank for his birthday, but her favorite was Stephen. She loved
He
Stephen.
was the firstborn,
huh?
I was the baby.
Of all the children, I was the most adventurous. They were on the quiet side, but I was very adventurous. And Adele was sitting one day for us in, up the Highlands. As you know, we were on the beach, and she looked out the window and she thought she was going to die. I was bicycling on the seawall. I survived.
Yeah.
It's a wonder that none of us fell off the seawall.
We used to dive off the end of the seawall.
That was another story, but
one memory I have of Dad, I'll never forget it. I had this tropical fish tank, and it was really nice, and he loved looking at it, And so we'd sit down for dinner at night, and the minute I sat down, he'd look at me and he said, "Did you feed the fish?" And most of the time I said, "Yeah, I fed the fish," but God forbid I forgot to feed the fish. And he looked at me and he said, "You feed yourself before you feed the fish?" He would mention that all the time.
Every Friday we had
you
fried
had
fish.
kissing gouramis.
I had kissing gouramis, I had angelfish and all that sort of
You
thing.
loved
Yeah,
that
he
tank
really
until
loved
one
it.
time there was a little accident with the heater.
Yeah, in those days, to heat the tank, I had this metal thing that you plugged in and it hung into the water. And I left it in too long and I forgot about it. And the oxygen, it got too warm and the oxygen is coming out of,
Yeah.
was depleting. And the fish started to jump out, and one ended up dead on the floor. It was, but he loved that tank, but oh God.
How about a break?
Okay,
Yeah.
take a break.
How much space you got left?
I don't know. You've